Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and today we're going to do the May 2025 tarot and oracle reading. So what I need you to do is say out loud or in your head, universe, higher self, spirit, whomever, what does May 2025 have in store for me? What do I most need to know about this month ahead in order to ensure my greatest, highest outcomes? And once you've asked that question, you can take a look at all three groups on screen and select whichever one you feel most drawn to. We have group number 1 with the Selenite, group number 2 with the Amethyst, and group number 3 with the Quartz. Whichever one you feel most intuitively pulled into, that is your group. And this is one of those readings where you might feel pulled into more than one group or maybe even all three groups, and that's perfectly fine. As always, take what resonates from this reading, leave anything that doesn't. If there's any messages that don't resonate, either you're not ready to hear it at this time or it's just a message that's meant for someone else. This is a group reading after all. If you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, I do offer a month ahead personal reading on my website, spiritpsychic.org, and the link to that is always in the description box. So without further ado, let's begin. Hello, group number 1, and welcome. Let's see what's in store for you for May 2025. You guys selected the Selenite stick, which just brings in so much positive energy to all of your intentions and everything that you're doing, everything that is life. So first out, you have Endure with the elk spirit, very beautiful, and we see it's standing halfway between nighttime and daytime. So to me, this kind of shows that you are making the most of all of the energies in your life, of every season in your life. Even when it is midnight on a cold, wintry evening, there is wisdom. There is a lesson there for you. There are certain energies that invigorate your soul. And when it is noon on the hottest day of the year in the middle of summer, there's also wisdom there for you. So there's something here about really harmonizing your life with the natural cycles. For example, if you have a menstrual cycle, you may be fine-tuning your daily reality to really support that, changing your diet, your exercise, your rhythm, and your routine based off of where you're at in that cycle. Same thing with nature's cycle, whether it's spring, summer, autumn, or winter. There may be different types of activities that you do, different diets that you eat, etc., to support the way that your body, mind, and soul changes through each of the seasons. We are all affected by these natural cycles of life, and I think it is very intuitive to really consciously change how you go about life depending on where you're at in that cycle. And this is something that I've been really paying attention to as I personally get older as well. You know, as I've gotten older, I've gotten more either aware or sensitive to life's cycles, aware and sensitive to the menstrual cycles, the seasons, and just the little nuances throughout the year that change as nature changes, as the wheel of life turns. And so the question is, where is my strength? I feel for a lot of you, you're not just enduring, you're also surviving, you're thriving, and you're recognizing that even when you're at a more difficult or challenging point in the cycle, there is wisdom to be gained there. From the Energy Oracle, we have the Thinking Woman upright. So I'm getting a lot of ambition and logic and learning. Reading and writing is very significant this month of May for you. You may be doing a lot of academic work, whether you are studying or teaching or creating. I'm also learning a lot more skills, especially when it's next to the Endure card here. It feels like you're learning a lot of skills and you come off as extremely intelligent to those around you. And you're very well read, very well studied, well researched. And there's a feeling of maturing. There's a feeling of, okay, I know a lot. And you're recognizing that many people around you may not possess certain wisdom that you possess in one area of life or multiple areas of life. You know, and that's all getting older, you know. A lot of us, we have our passions, we have the things that interest us, and we cultivate a really strong library of information in our heads about certain subjects. And as we get older, we may become quite masterful at these subjects. And it's like, I'm seeing that or if it's not subjects, it could also be a skill that you have. Like, for example, if you're a really talented artist or musician or cook, or you just know a lot about blending your own herbal teas, or, whatever, and you just have a lot to say about certain subjects, you may be finding a way to really spread and share that to others. If you find yourself to a point where you know so much about a subject that you're kind of annoyed that there's not any refreshing, new, fun materials on that subject for you to enjoy, that may be your sign to be the one who creates it, to be the trailblazer, to give back to the community and revisit the subjects and the tools in which you're very passionate about by teaching it to others, or by showing it to others, or taking on some new, fresh journey within that passion. So, for example, if you are an artist, this may be you really showcasing your work in a gallery for the first time, or selling prints, or diving more into the business side of that, So I am seeing an expansion of mind. The crown chakra seems to be very important and very open for you in May. We have the new moon eclipse. Expect powerful change. Wow. So quite the card to come out in any reading, the new moon eclipse. New moon eclipses specifically come during a time where we're just recently going through a lot of challenge, a lot of chaos, a lot of conflict, necessary tower moments that showed us exactly what we possess in our life. And by the time the new moon eclipse rolls around, we know exactly what changes we want and need to implement in order to make our lives as beautiful as possible. And so the month of May, you may be calling in some radical change into your life. You may be calling in new experiences, energies, and really stepping into someone that you're going to be very, very proud of. So it would not shock me, group number 1, if any of you guys had some big ideas that you're implementing in May. Some new ideas that come forward. And this could be like a new hobby. Like, for example, some of you may be like, I don't know, getting into like scrapbooking, bird keeping. I don't know what hobbies you guys do. And you're learning all about that. Or this could be a new idea that expands something that you're already quite masterful at, talented at, and giving back to society, giving back to community in that way, by creating some sort of either like business or charity work or online resource materials upon which other people can improve their lives in the fields in which you're excited about. So it's really exciting. We have stillness coming through with this beautiful swan. There's so much value in stillness, so much value in the quiet moments, especially quiet moments outside, out in nature. It's one thing to be in your home. It's a whole nother thing to be just sitting in the sunlight on a nice day next to a stream or in the garden. I don't know why I'm getting these little moments in nature that bring your soul a lot of peace and a lot of clarity. I am also seeing natural living coming through. Some of you guys may be trying to infuse more vitamins into your foods, more whole foods, more sunlight in a healthy way, more stretching or gentle movements, walking, yoga, things like that. You may be finding the importance in them the older you get. Then we have relationship, group number 1. There's a lot of love here. And even with the swan spirit coming out, any bird spirit really represents love. This says, I call in the infinite power of love to take over this union in every way. May it now fully belong to the divine. Let it unfold in the perfect way for each of us. I needn't fear letting go of control. My needs are always abundantly met. Exactly. So for a lot of you, I really do feel like new moon eclipse energy endure. Some of you may have gone through some challenges in your relationships these past several months. And in the month of May, you're finally entering a season of peace and extreme love, gratitude, and prosperity in those relationships. You may have had to set some hard boundaries, have some difficult conversations, make adjustments, and those things are never easy. And it's all paying off in the month of May in your relationships. You know, your relationships may be getting sweeter and easier. And it's all because of what the challenges you've endured, the conversations you've had, the boundaries you set, etc., etc. Doing all of that hard emotional work has paid off, is what I'm seeing, which is very beautiful. And there could be some powerful developments in your relationship life as well, with this relationship card coming out next to the new moon eclipse. New seasons, new starts in your relationship. So it may be you as well as someone else taking on a big life journey together, whether that's like healthy living, whether that is the journey of parenthood, whether that is anything really, starting a business. You may be doing it with your loved ones around you. You're not alone, which is extremely beautiful. Okay, so we have the World card. Fascinating, wonderful. This is the turning of the season, the turning of the wheel of life. It is a completion, major completions happening for you in May. And it definitely feels like you're entering into a season where life is starting to feel good again. You have things to celebrate in May. There's success that you're making. And I keep coming back to this sense of like feeling really connected to the divine and having a lot of big ideas for work and hobby in the future. Having a lot of big ideas about things that you want to create. I think we are all creative people, just humans in general. And you can express that creativity in whatever way you express creativity. You might make quilts. You might write books. You might just really like making beautiful meals. However your creativity is expressed, some people get creative with the way in which they like to create problems. Create drama, create chaos. We're all creators, and we all express that creativity in our own way. And for some reason, the month of May is really striking me as a really creative month for you, group number 1. And you may be starting as well as completing some pretty big changes, creative changes. And this could be in your home, home projects, which you start and complete a lot of. This could be in career and business, starting new ideas, new projects there and completing them. This could be in your hobbies, having an idea come through very spontaneously, completing it and being very satisfied with the result. And even having ideas for what you want to do with your loved ones in relationships, with friendships, like let's go out and do this. Let's go on this vacation. Let's travel here, etc., etc. Let's have this night at your house, and you're doing that, which is really exciting. Hosting just came to my mind. Some of you guys may be hosting some sort of themed event or special get together, which is really fun. You may be having a lot of, and I don't know why drinks are coming to mind. Now, this could be alcoholic beverages. Some of you might be getting into like cocktail making, but I'm actually seeing this goes far beyond that. Some of you may be more intentional with your beverages, whatever those beverages are. Like if you drink coffee every morning, you may be making very beautiful coffee drinks, or getting into smoothies, getting into tea, getting very clever, very creative with how you present those beverages, with lots of edible decor, what the heck, garnishes, that's what they're called. Edible decor. So yeah, lots of random messages coming through for you. Life is feeling very sweet. 6 of Swords. So there is travel. And this travel could be taking place with a romantic partner, if you have a romantic partner. Could be taking place with family as well. I'm also seeing planning family get-togethers and family trips. This may be where hosting comes in. People may be traveling to see you. I'm also seeing, like day trips as well, weekend trips, longer travel or vacation. This might be a really great month to plan or actually do that. 6 of Swords to me really shows life becoming easier, especially in relationships, which is what we just talked about. We see here they're in rough, rocky waters, which represents, moving through relationship issues, especially like when you're going through big life changes or even just implementing someone into your life on such a more deep level. There comes a time period where you have to overcome relationship issues together. You have to learn how to work with each other and for each other. You have to learn how to beautifully blend the two of your energies in a way that makes sense. And I feel like you've done a lot of that work in these past few months, especially like February, March, and April. I feel like were really big months for doing the hard emotional labors in your relationships and within yourself, to be honest, as well. Like lots of shadow work, root work. And in the month of May, it feels like things are more stable, for sure, emotionally. And there's an excitement here about the ways in which the future will be moving forward. And even in family relationships, if you have family members whom you always used to fight with, it's like for whatever reason, like there's just a lot of maturing taking place. Boundaries are tremendous with this. I think being able to implement healthy boundaries is a skill that I believe that everyone should possess, but unfortunately most people do not possess. And not having boundaries leads to a lot of resentment. And, basically anytime you let another person upset you, it's time to take a look at your boundaries, your personal boundaries, in my opinion. We have the King of Swords upright, which just shows this clarity, this mental clarity that I'm really strongly picking up for you in the month of May, which goes hand in hand with the thinking woman, like lots of great creative ideas coming in, but also an intelligence, being great with communication. I think communication is at an all-time high in terms of healthiness in your life and in your friendships, romance, family members, the people around you, etc. And King of Swords is a great card for boundaries also. I think you might be pleasantly surprised and delighted, happy at someone in your life who, they could be a masculine energy, and they also could have strong air placements. So that would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And this is somebody who is a doer. They don't just sit around waiting for life to happen. They make life happen. They keep themselves busy. And they're an initiator. They initiate things, and it's just very pleasant to be around people like that. So that way you're not feeling like you're always the one initiating. You're always the one doing all of the work. If you felt that way in the past, I feel like that's really easing up for you. You may be meeting people or have met people who really, are better matches for you. Other doers, other ambitious people, other people who like to use their own brain and autonomy, making executive decisions. So it just feels really good to be around influences like that. We have Death coming out in reverse. So whenever the Death card comes out in reverse, to me, it points to something needing to end. And I think it's very interesting that it's coming out underneath this Endure card, because it's like, are there things that you're enduring that you really shouldn't be anymore? On one hand, I think it's a good thing to not just throw everything away and to try to fix things and work on things. I think that's a skill that is forgotten in modern day culture with all of this fast fashion and fast consumerism. A lot of people are quick to buy new things, replace people, etc., because there's such an abundance of things and people. But it's so important to be able to fix things and nurture them. And there's just so much history that builds when we really take the time to keep things in our lives, keep people in our lives. However, when the Death card comes out in reverse, it's kind of telling the opposite story, where it's like, you may be the type of person who is like that, but to a point where it's like you're keeping things or people in your life who no longer really have a place there, So group number 1, comment down below, where in your life, now this could be a thing, this could be a location, a person, is it no longer worth it to keep it in your life? Like, for example, let's just say you have an old beat up car and you have to get it fixed every single month. It's breaking down on you every single month, just causing so much stress, constantly in the shop, constantly having you bleed money. And it's like, financially, it might be at a point where it's worth it to just scrap that car and, maybe get like a newer used car. You know what I mean? So it's like, why are you still keeping it in your life? It no longer makes sense. Just for the history, just for the comfort, just because it's been there all along. Sometimes it's best to let things go. Sometimes it's okay to throw out that raggedy old wardrobe you have and actually invest in high quality newer clothes, or high quality vintage clothes. So I definitely feel like the universe is sort of nudging you to be more willing and okay with treating yourself from time to time and releasing the things that just really are costing you too much time and energy and resources that aren't really giving that back. We have the 9 of Cups right after that, which shows personal happiness. I gotta say, group number 1, your reading for the most part feels very peaceful, very happy, and you've earned this peace for sure because you've endured, you've found your strengths, and you're learning how to work with your natural cycles, with nature's cycles, and it's all paying off. Like you are, emotional regulation seems to be improving. Personal sense of peace and happiness and contentment is improving. You have lots of great ideas, lots of creative ideas that you're excited to implement. It all feels very good. The Empress in reverse. And I want to see what card comes out next to this. We have the 4 of Pentacles. So when the Empress comes out in reverse, there could be, and especially with the Death card in reverse, some of you guys, there could be some final karmic work that you're doing around the theme of trusting that more abundance will always be available to you. I am wondering if any of you guys watching have this sort of belief deeply rooted in your mind, like, I can't let go of things because what if I have nothing again? And this could be rooted in, like, for example, if you ever gone through poverty or really felt a lack, or like fear of loss. There's something here about fear of loss, fear of, if I get rid of this, what's going to replace it? Nothing's going to replace it. I can't find something better if I remove this from your life. Group number 1, you have to trust that you are constantly elevating your vibration. You're constantly maturing. You're on a growth path, right? If you're the type of person who just naturally, every single day you wake up, you try to be a better person, you try to process, you try to grow, I assure you, when you remove things from your life, they will fill back up. That space that's created will fill back up with something better for you if you keep if that's just who you are naturally. Because the thing is, what we call into our reality, the things that we attract in life, are a vibrational match for who we are in the moment that we attract them, right? And nature abhors a vacuum. You'll not find a single place in nature that is just nothing. It's always filled with life. So when you remove things from your life, whether that be certain relationships, certain objects, etc., you will attract more. You're making space for more to enter energetically. And what enters after you remove that will be a vibrational match to who you are today. So for example, maybe you made a friend many, 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 many years ago. And at the time, you were in a vibration where you were a really great match for like a nice drinking buddy, somebody to go out and drink and eat greasy foods and gossip. That's what you were. That was the vibration that you carried back then. And then years go by, you've done a ton of shadow work, worked on yourself, really grew as an individual, became more mature, and you still keep this person in your life, but they did not grow in that same way. And nowadays, when you hang out with them, you just feel tired, you feel drained, they don't really excite you, it's not really, maybe they might even be a little toxic at times. And it's like, why are you still holding on to this energetic bond? Why are you still making space for something in your life that you don't even enjoy anymore? And it's like, the reason why you may keep that in your life is because you might be afraid, if I let this go, what if I have no friends? What if I don't attract anything after that? And in reality, it's like, when you make space in your life, that space will get filled. Okay, it absolutely will get filled. And it will get filled with whatever it is that you most resonate with vibrationally at this moment in your life. So if we look to the cards around the Death card and the Empress, they're all very positive. So you're going to attract something better. into your life, if you're willing to let this go. Four of Pentacles, you've been very stable emotionally and with your finances. 9 of Cups, emotional regulation, contentment, happiness, and self-worth. You have a solid self-worth that you're building up. King of Swords, you have great ideas that you want to work on. Things are improving. You're completing a lot around you. You're in a good space vibrationally. So don't be afraid to let go, release the things that really aren't giving you life. They're not sparking joy. Let them go, release them. And with the Empress in reverse, the wisdom here is to trust the natural flow of abundance. Life will always provide something. Never will there be a vacuum and emptiness. Okay. So yeah, I really do feel like May is a very positive month if you selected group number 1. I feel like you've done a lot of shadow work. You've done a lot of hard work. You've matured as a person. Relationships are getting easier. You have lots of great ideas, getting a lot done. The only wisdom here, the only challenge you may have this month is to trust your intuition when it tells you to release and let go of someone or something, and trust that you can and will attract much better by releasing the things that simply don't really resonate with your soul. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, group number 1. Definitely like this video. I would love to hear how this reading resonated down below. So leave a comment and subscribe if you've not already. Hit that notification bell to be notified every time I post. And if you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there, shamanic life coaching sessions there, as well as my online tarot reading course, so check it out. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 2, and welcome. Let's see what's in store for you in May 2025. You guys selected the Amethyst, which is really great for protection and psychic abilities, all things mystical, all things spiritual. Let's see what's in store for you this month. We have the Magician and the Mirror, so I don't think it's a coincidence that you selected the Amethyst stone. And then you have this card here because the Magician and the Mirror, it shows you consciously cultivating an inner vibration for the purpose of attracting the outer reality that you are looking to seek, that you're seeking to experience in life. So for example, like all of the friends that you have, all of the experiences you have, the location that you live in, everything, if you're an adult, is a reflection of the internal vibration, the internal vibes and energy that you possess. Okay, everything is a reflection of that, down to the plants that are growing in your backyard, the neighbors that you have, the experiences that you have. They are all reflecting something that exists within you, especially anyone or anything that triggers very strong emotional responses from you. Those are your greatest teachers in life. Even the people, the situations, the politics, anything that gets you feeling angry, upset, resentful, those are some of your greatest teachers. Or even in love, happy, excited, exhilarated. Those are your greatest teachers in life. And the Magician and Mirror, when it's upright, it just shows you really consciously cultivating that relationship with life, using the world around you as your oracle, learning from everything that's available to you, and making changes, making adjustments as you see fit. It can feel overwhelming for some people, especially young adults, where it's like, you didn't choose the life that you were born into. You didn't choose the family you grew up in, the resources you have or do not have. I can understand why with young adults specifically, it can be a little frustrating, overwhelming even, to view life from that lens. But I am telling you, take the time to sit with that philosophy and learn from the reality that you find yourself in, because everything influences you. Your external reality is a reflection of your internal reality, down to the colors that you choose to paint the walls, the objects in your home, the clothes that you wear. Everything has a relationship to you. And the Magician Mirror, it's just you are a powerhouse spiritually, energetically, when it comes to the level of awareness that you have and your ability to use that awareness to your advantage. So you have the South Node. Don't let your past hold you back. Absolutely. And see, this is what I would totally say. Anybody watching, and now I understand that not everyone watching is a young adult. I would say like late teens, early 20s. But in that example that I gave where it's like, there's more frustration when you're that age because it's like, man, I didn't choose this life. And now all of these things trigger me emotionally. All of these things I like, don't like, etc. It's just, I want my life to look how I want it. It's a complicated feeling when you start to wake up to who you are as an individual and your personality. And then you look around you and you realize, whose life am I living? And you know what? Some people have this awakening later on in their life as well. They realize this is who I am, and whatever's going on around me, whatever life I've been playing an actor or actress in, that is not my life. And those awakenings can be quite challenging because they come with a sense of unhappiness. Like, man, I got to do all of this work to bring my life to where I want it to be, to match who I really am on the inside. And that's the thing, deep, deep within you is your pure soul, your pure personality. And it just has layers upon layers upon layers of societal conditioning and trauma and fill in the blank, whatever junk you got up in your aura. And usually it's those things that are attracting your outer reality. And I just feel like there's a massive wake-up call here where it's like, your past definitely plays a major, massive part when it comes to you stepping into who you are and into your power, and also just how your past contributed to where you're at presently, And if you're not a fan of that past and you feel like, oh my gosh, I wasted so many years, I should have done this, I should have done that. First off, forgive yourself. Don't let that past hold you back, because you're giving power to that old version of you that you're wanting to let go of. Don't let your past define you. We have focus. And I just saw 555 on the camera timer. I just so happened to look up and that was the number that was there, which is an angel number. The number 5 is all about change, transformation. I'm seeing this intense focus that you've been holding for several months now to improve your life. And the spirit of snow is very important here. I love the spirit of snow because the spirit of snow is very gentle and it accumulates. So it kind of, to me, represents the gentle accumulation of very small daily habits that we start, very small changes that we make day by day to better support our vision of what we want to manifest. They all accumulate very quickly, just like how snow, when it's falling down, it appears so gentle, but that can really grow very, very quickly. So I feel like the month of May, you are accumulating new, amazing, good habits. And you may be gently removing old habits that no longer serve you. Day by day, it's the littlest changes that make the biggest difference. And as someone who has drastically changed throughout the years, drastically removed myself from what my destiny would have been if I just went along with, the environment that I grew up in, I can tell you the greatest amount of life transformation, it's not found when you are in this perspective of, I need to create this overnight success. I need to make as much change as possible, as quickly as possible. No. Real, quick moving transformation happens when you're instead focused on, well, what small thing can I do in the present moment? What small habit can I make today? What small improvement can I make today? That is what really racks up over time. Like, for example, when I was quitting negative habits, I just didn't even attempt to quit cold turkey. I would just quit little by little each day, so it didn't feel like a big deal. And because it didn't feel like a big deal, that was long-lasting change for me. You know, when I quit biting my nails, when I quit, well, that one time I quit caffeine, when I quit eating so much added sugar in my diet, you know, those were all gradual shifts and changes, and gradual shifts and changes to take on more positive work, to work out more, to have good daily habits. They all add up. And I feel like your focus is really accumulating in the month of May, which is very positive. But the question is, what little things do you do on a daily basis that aren't good for you as well, that really accumulate? You know, like I know somebody who complains about money a lot, but the thing is, like, they go to Starbucks like every day to get their coffee. I'm like, those Starbucks drinks are so expensive to be a daily thing. You know, you're spending hundreds of dollars. You know, these are full bills that could be paid. That's a substantial amount of savings each month. If you just made your own coffee at home, it takes 2 seconds. You know, things like that accumulate as well. And, you know, there's so many different examples I could give of this. So many different examples. Oh my gosh. Anytime anyone tries coming to me for health and weight loss advice, I'm actually a very healthy individual, aside from being, you know, a life coach. Where specifically they're trying to lose weight. And oftentimes with that is in their beverages, you know, oh, I drink a soda or 2 a day. And it's like those calories add up they're first up hundreds of calories, extra calories you're getting a day from that very small habit. Like, you might drink a can of soda in like less than 5 minutes, you know? Is it really worth it? Because those really, really accumulate. You know, if you're drinking 2 of those a day, you know, that is like over 1,000 calories a week extra that you're adding, you know? And are you burning that off in exercise? Chances are probably not. You know, so it's the little things that accumulate is basically what I'm trying to say. And there's a lot of accumulation happening for you in May with your habits. We have calmness. And I really do feel this from you guys. I'm speaking calmer with you, group number 2. You really do have this calm aura about you. The inner divine is the witness of all, remaining still and quiet, even during intense turbulence. So take a deep breath and then say, "Quiet my mind, dear Lord. May your peaceful calm take over." Absolutely. I really love that. And the snow spirit coming out as well. It's such a calming energy. I am wondering if some of you guys are meditating more, really starting to see that meditation accumulating and noticing a real shift in your emotional regulation and your sense of peace. For example, we have clear with the striped skunk. And it says, what kind of release would protect clarity in my space? And there's that word clarity, calmness, clear-mindedness. Okay, protecting your space. And if we think about the skunk spirit, they really do. They're known for their release. You know what I'm saying? Like they release in order to protect and make space in their territory. You know, so what do you need to let go of in your space, in your territory? Magician and the mirror. You know, it's so funny how deeply everything plays into everything else. I noticed big shifts in my life tended to happen not just on their own because I willed it to happen, but due to so many other factors. Like, for example, when I think of big moments in my life where I had big jumps in my income and career success, it wasn't just me working harder. It wasn't just me consciously focusing on it. It was also me doing that while simultaneously adjusting the feng shui of my house, dressing in clothes and colors that supported business success. It was also me removing people from my life who really didn't have anything going on for themselves except for complaining, and surrounding myself with people who were doing great things in their life and with their life, and removing trash social media consumption and replacing it with powerful, uplifting social media consumption. It was never just the one thing I was trying to accomplish. It was always a combination of many different factors that all happened simultaneously that led to these moments of big success. And so, month of May for you, group number 2, I am seeing a release, a clearing away of anything in your life that just adds noise negatively. And you're looking at all of the nitty-gritty little details. Some of you guys may be doing some deep, deep cleaning, like cleaning out your closets, cleaning out all the trash on your phone, repainting the walls, redoing the floors, clearing out your social calendar, and heck, even deleting some contacts. And you know what? Maybe creating some distance from the people, places, and things that do not serve, that do not give back. And it's through this clearing, this release, that you make room for, first off, calm, because you already are calm and peaceful deep, deep within yourself. That's not, calmness is not something you go out and seek. You don't have to go visit a mountaintop to find calmness. Calmness exists within you already. And it's all about actually just clearing out everything that gets in the way of that calmness and that peace. The noise, the nonsense, your past. Let's see. We have the 6 of Cups in reverse. So to me, this is getting more specific now. Some of you guys might be letting go of a friendship, and this may be a friendship that you've known for many, many years, But the fact of the matter is, their energy does not seem conducive and aligned with what you're trying to do in life. This may be somebody whose politics, beliefs, attitude, personality, it's just really out of alignment with who you are right now and who you're trying to be, what you're trying to manifest. And so you may be actually releasing and letting go of a friend like that. People grow apart all the time. People also grow towards other situations, other people all the time. We have the World in reverse, exactly. This is yet another card that shows that release. It's the end of an era, the end of a friendship, I think, may be here for some of you, or even multiple friendships. If there's been a lot of change taking place in your life, that would also make sense with all of this. Like if any of you have moved, had changes in friendships, social life, relationships, really anything. And that's the thing about change. It's like when you make big moves in life, everything else moves around you to adjust accordingly as well. And then when everything else adjusts accordingly, you may also adjust. And it's like a domino effect of change that just happens in your life. And that's why so many people, they experience very fast moving upwards or downward spirals, because it's like one change leads to another change, which leads to another change, which leads to another change. You react to your external life, your internal vibration changes, and your external life reacts to that internal vibrational shift. And you're constantly in this dance of life. And sometimes the tempo of that dance picks up very quickly. And that's what I'm seeing is happening for you in the month of May. We have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. It seems like there's a lot of ambition surrounding, I'm seeing a desire for financial independence. And this message has been coming through so strongly in so many readings, like for months now. And it's just, a generational thing is what I'm feeling. A lot of people desiring financial independence, the ability to just take care of yourself in a physical sense. And that is a very valid desire, extremely valid desire. It's also important to learn how to rely upon community. And again, it takes us back to the magician in the mirror. You're interconnected with everyone and everything around you. And in creating this financial and personal sense of independence and being able to take care of yourself, you also have to look around you to your community, everything, because everyone relies off of each other. You know, we are animals that are a part of the ecosystem. And this ecosystem is so deeply interwoven and interconnected, and we are not separate from that. We are greatly a part of that ecosystem. And the funny thing is, when it comes to manifesting financial independence and success, you ironically unlock a lot more of that the more you step into your ability to rely upon your community, the people around you, the land around you, the plants around you, the ideas around you, everything around you, working interconnectedly with your goals, dreams, and conscious intentions. That is what will ironically lead you to financial independence. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse. See, you can't do it all as an island. You can't do it all on your own. There's no easy way out. You know, this takes us back to the message of accumulation. Change can accumulate quite rapidly for you in the direction that you want it to take. Okay? But it's all in the little ways in which you adjust your life in your daily routine. So stop searching and seeking for overnight success. And instead, reframe your mind to seek out a lot of small changes that you can make right here, right now, today, and maybe tomorrow, and maybe the next day, that will all accumulate up and propel you forward to your goal, dream, and destination. 10 of Pentacles. Here it is. Here it is. That's what I'm saying. Going from 9 of Pentacles in reverse, man, I just wish I had a bit more so that way I can really feel financially independent. Like I can afford more than just paying my bills and staying afloat. And then bada bing, bada boom. 1 month's time, within this month, you do get to that point of like, I am abundant and I am wealthy, truly rich. And the definition of wealthy and rich, it goes so far beyond finances. You know, waking up next to a loved one in a healthy relationship, wealthy, okay? Having people who are grateful for you, who you are grateful for, wealthy. Having health, a body that works, a mind that works, wealthy. You know, not having debt, wealthy. There's so many things that play into the definition of wealth and prosperity. And I feel like you are embodying wealth and prosperity a lot more in the month of May. And it's through your day-to-day tiny improvements that gets you there very quickly. 3 of Swords. And we have Queen of Wands upright. To love deeply is to open yourself up to heartbreak and loss as well. That's just the nature of reality, you know? Like to really feel the effects of wealth and what it means to be rich. You have to first experience what it is to be in poverty. Like I just really, life is funny in that way. Everything is so neutral. You know, somebody who's never starved a day in their life will never fully experience the level of gratitude for food and for Mother Earth. And they can feel a little bit of gratitude, but you know what I mean? They never really felt that or empathize so deeply. They'll never experience that level of happiness. Somebody who's never loved deeply also never hurts quite deeply either. I don't know. I feel really philosophical with you guys, group number 2, and perhaps you guys are extremely deep thinkers, very philosophical, very intelligent. I'm definitely picking up on that. But I am definitely seeing multiple smaller messages here. Number 1, letting go of some friendships. That may have been something you've been doing, okay, and you're still probably processing that or figuring out the way to do that. I'm seeing some spring cleaning, literally getting rid of stuff. You know, removing things that no longer match your vibration. Letting go of the past, which ties into all of that. Some of you guys may be letting go of like really old, memorable things that don't remind you of anything good. You know, something I like to do every couple of years is burn away all of my journal entries. And I know that sounds psychotic, but I don't know how to describe it. There's like a certain magic that comes to doing that. And just imagining all of those years I spent in emotional dysregulation and stupid problems just burning away, and all of that time, energy is transmuted and flows back to me in the way that I want it to flow back to me. So I am seeing that, some big release, a lot of release in the month of May for you, and working more in harmony with your surroundings. And I don't know how to describe this unless you've already experienced it, but it's like, man, there's a level of consciousness that you have to be at to understand that like everything plays into everything. The stars, when you're born, play into your personality. The way that they move play into how life moves. And the every plant has a different medicine, a different wisdom. Every animal has a different medicine, a different wisdom. Everything has a different medicine, a different wisdom for us. And their unique vibration all plays together and creates this present moment that you experience right here and right now. And you are a co-creator of this reality. And you can decide what you want your reality to look like. Everybody has this power. And I don't know, I just feel like you've been awakening to it a lot deeper recently, like on a much larger, deeper scale, like in many different ways, like understanding the principles of feng shui and just how, like energy work, period. You guys feel very psychically aware of these things, and you're using them to your advantage. Queen of Wands, like you're really in command of your reality and cultivating a great sense of wealth for yourself. So I really love it. Thank you so much for joining me, group number 2. This is a lovely, very conscious month ahead. Like this video, comment how it resonated down below, and subscribe if you've not already. If you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there, shamanic life coaching sessions there, as well as my online tarot reading course, so check it out. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 3, and welcome. You selected this quartz stone that I found in Maine, so let's see what you've got. I feel like quartz is just really great in general. It's a very abundant stone, and it just amplifies the energy that is around it. So it's really great for assisting in manifestation and just amplifying the energies that are already there, in my opinion. So month of May, you have positivity with these beautiful birds and bee. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. I want to pause and say this is so true. This has been a spiritual download that I've been receiving in readings a lot recently, where it's like sometimes we get so caught up in doing this deep soul searching work and shadow work, this and that, you know, the whole 9 yards, right? And we become very used to seeking out problems. And sometimes the best thing that we can do is simply admit, you know what, everything is fine as is right now, and to just really enjoy what life has to offer. And I think practicing gratitude is so strong for that. You know, if your life is going good, it's like literally just be grateful and eat it up, you know? So some of you guys might be there where it's like you've been doing so much emotional processing, so much soul growth, and it's like, you know what, maybe it's almost time for you to simply practice gratitude for where you're at and just relax a little bit. Take a break from all of that deep soul diving and just go out and have fun. Be grateful and just not push yourself so much out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? So May be a great month for that. Please, dear God, let me always feel gratitude for something, even the tiniest thing, in even the hardest situations. Very cute. I like it. We have the Goddess of the Moon in reverse. So this card, this is from the Energy Oracle. It shows that you may have fallen a little bit, just ever so slightly, out of touch with the fact that you are a beautiful goddess or god-like entity. And you are worthy of offerings. You are worthy of just having that sense of confidence, that sense of, yes, I am powerful. I do make a difference in the world, and I am beautiful. So You may want to make some more time and space in your schedule this month to do things that make you feel beautiful and good. So for example, if I get caught up in doing these readings for YouTube, doing my work and all of that, and I sort of neglect like my skincare routine, like my toenail polish is all outgrown, I need to, redo redo that, or like I haven't cut my hair in a long time and it's looking all crazy, I naturally, like anyone else, would start to feel a little bit less beautiful or confident, just because those are the things that make me feel fresh and good. And those things are different for everyone, by the way, like for some people, having a fresh pair of sneakers on that are very clean might make them feel really beautiful and confident. For others, they could care less about their shoes, but maybe like, I don't know, like just brushing their teeth and flossing makes them feel beautiful. I don't know, we all have our things. And this is just your reminder to do those things and restore yourself back to that sense of goddess, that sense of godlike energy. Like, yeah, I am awesome. We have the new moon in Cancer. You and your loved ones are safe. So I just want to say, if there has been any difficulties that you've been working through, which I see, like you've been doing a lot of shadow work, root work, emotional processing, all of that, like making changes, going out of your comfort zone. You've been doing work, okay? A lot of internal work. And I feel group number 3 that you're coming upon a time where it's like, okay, well, it's time to ease up on that a little bit and just enjoy life externally. And all of that inner work that you've been doing, it's ready to pay off externally, it's ready to be enjoyed in your physical environment. So live life to the fullest. We have emerge, exactly, like you were this caterpillar. You've done the crazy work of, turning into that magical caterpillar goo. And you're ready to emerge from that cocoon, that chrysalis, as a beautiful Eastern tiger swallowtail, which is the spirit that's coming out for you. What am I opening into? Exactly. It's time to break out of that chrysalis. It's time to, put the shadow work, put the root work on the shelf for a hot second and spread your wings and fly and literally just enjoy this new reality that you've created for yourself. I feel group number 3, if you're watching this, you've manifested some big things in your life, okay? You've done a lot. And it's like you don't have to keep overanalyzing it. You don't have to be overly spiritual about it even. You just have to enjoy it and be grateful for it. So what are you opening into? Leave a comment down below. Who are you becoming right now? We have power with the storm, with the lightning, the thunder energy. Stunning. Very, very stunning. Yes, you are feeling more confident, more power. You're tuning back into your own sense of magic. There's something here about returning back to your confidence. I also want to say, if you've been going through any relationship issues that have been really pulling you away from that confidence, because that happens sometimes. When your relationship is threatened or your family identity is threatened, that puts you into survival mode, fight, flight, or freeze, right? And when you're in fight, flight, or freeze mode, you can't thrive. You can't really expand beyond yourself and grow into something completely new. You're too busy surviving. Really, being in survival mode takes up a tremendous amount of your energy, like no one's business. I spent years in survival mode. And let me tell you, I barely made any growth financially, in my business, in anything during that time. I was doing crazy amounts of shadow work, root work, healing work, because I needed it. I needed years of that, And, when you keep yourself in a chaotic, messy relationship or job or life situation where you're put into survival mode, you lose touch with your inner goddess or godlike energy. Right? So we see you returning back to your power, returning back to that magic, Okay, emotional regulation. It's been a big theme for everyone this month of May. Emotional regulation, returning back to peace. Okay, you get a sense of, you know what, we're safe, we're good. You know, this relationship isn't going to burst into flames at any moment anymore. My health, this house, this situation, it's not going to burst into flames. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. You know, bills are paid. I can relax a little bit. That's the vibe I'm getting from you guys. Whatever it was, there was like this sense of like, this can burst into flames at any moment, you know? And that sense of that is over, which is why you're able to return back to your power. Because it's when you're feeling safe and regulated, like, okay, everything's good, that you really can get creative, go out of your comfort zone. And that is when the magic of life really starts happening. After that safety is established, that root chakra is taken care of, you know, that is when safety that is when magic really begins to unfold. So very, very beautiful. Let's see what we got. Month of May, 2 of Cups. Yes, I love this. Relationships are harmonized for you at this time. It definitely feels like if you were worried about a relationship or about a loved one, all will be well. That's what I want to say. All will be well. And the spirit of Cancer is coming out to say that. And Cancer, new moon. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So the fact that that's coming out, emotions and relationships are very, very strong, especially ones that are very long lasting. Okay. So I love the 2 of Cups. It does show connecting on a much deeper emotional level with the people who are currently in your life. So relationships may be elevating and deepening, really, really deepening. We have the 9 of Cups in reverse. See, sometimes when it comes to love, we can become so fully enmeshed with a romantic partner, or even a best friend, or someone that we kind of lose ourselves a little bit. So my only piece of advice for you there is to just make room for yourself and your own personality. Group number 3, like, keep doing the hobbies that you enjoy doing. Keep going out and doing things on your own, having your own friends, etc. I think having strong sense of individuality and being okay on your own, being happy on your own, is just the best foundation you can have to any relationship in life. You know, not putting all of your eggs in one basket. Having friends, as well as family, as well as love, so important to overall life satisfaction. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. See, one thing is promised, and that's that the wheel of life will continuously turn and change. Energies will continuously turn and change. And again, I feel like you have sort of, because you were in survival mode, doing such a profound amount of craziness. Like, I literally imagine you as a caterpillar creating that chrysalis, going in it, turning into that goo. Like, the amount of work to do all of that, insane. Absolutely. Like, that takes up all of your magic, all of your life force energy, all of your prana to go through that crazy level transformation, right? So you've been doing that. And while you've been doing that, it feels like the world around you has been changing. You know, you had to sort of go into your healing chrysalis for a little bit to turn into this butterfly. The world around you has changed. Now you're emerging, this new entity, this new being with much more power. You know, the butterfly has more power than the caterpillar because it can fly. You know, there's a lot of beauty there. So, you know, you're reemerging in your power in the month of May. The world has changed, and not necessarily for the better. And you're like, okay, I got more power this time around. My relationships are looking good. And I know that I'm influential on the planet, so let's see what I can do, you know? So some of you guys may be getting more active in your community, active with social issues, active with just life around you, you know? For example, even if you've been taking a break from like all your friendships and family, like leaving everybody's voicemails unheard for like the past few months, you're like, okay, I'm ready to start talking to people again. I'm ready to come back around. I'm ready to exist again. So, all right, tell me all your tea. What's been going on? You know what I mean? It's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. You come back, all of your friends' lives are just a nightmare. And you're like, all right, you guys really needed me. I don't know why I'm getting that sort of vibe. We have the Six of Wands in reverse. See, there's something here about wanting to be seen, wanting to be more popular or have more visibility in life and what you're doing. Let's see what's next to this card. We have the Page of Cups. Okay, so it is from you being creative that will give you that. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let's just say you're a very private person. Maybe you post on social media here and there, and you have this idea that pops up for you in the month of March or May. Oh my God, March. In the month of May, like, oh, you know what? Actually, I've really been feeling beautiful. I want to start taking beautiful selfies again and sharing like words of inspiration, telling people what I've been going through, like on my Instagram page, on my Facebook page, whatever. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you're coming back. You're wanting to be more active. Like, okay, here I am again. Here's what's been going on. And it's just a creative urge to do that, a creative and social urge to just share your stories with the world. Some of you guys may actually literally be using social media more in the month of May for content creation. Like, even if it's just amongst your own personal friends, it's like, here's what I've been up to. Here's some cool things I've been doing. Whether it's just the beauty of your life that you want to share, or the stories, or the advice, the wisdom, whatever. And it's actually through that you find this popularity, this visibility, and this success. Now, for example, like, this isn't like, oh yeah, you're going to become an overnight sensation. It could be so much more simple than that. It could be like you just post a little thing on social media and you get a DM from someone you haven't heard in a long time, and they're like, oh my God, I relate to this so much. And you have a beautiful conversation, and a beautiful friendship may emerge from that. You know what I mean? So it's like from some sort of creative idea that is somehow linked to you being social in a way. And this, I don't know why I get a strong example of social media, so it could be related to that. It actually helps lead you to this desire here for Six of Wands in reverse, which is people feeling connected to you, people feeling like you're amazing, you're so cool. And it also connects to you feeling more yourself, more in your power again, your authenticity, feeling creative again, letting life move again, because you're no longer living in that survival mode. And I have a lot of grace for people who sort of just like ghost their friends for a few months on end. I have a few friends like that myself, actually, where like they won't answer for like many, many, many days, like leaving on red, but I know they're a good person and they're just overwhelmed with life. And like I said, living in survival mode. And what can you do to emerge from that survival mode, group number 3? I think that's the biggest question, because that's the reality I see for you in May. You're not living in survival mode anymore. You're living in gratitude mode. You're reclaiming your magic, your sense of inner peace. Oh my God, I have so many examples I can give you of this. Sometimes the answer is right in our face when it comes to what we need to do to stop living in survival mode. But I really do feel like for a lot of you, it could be resolving like a health issue or relationship issues that have been taking place. Honestly, I have some examples of like reclaiming peace involves letting go of these chaotic nightmare relationships, So what do you personally need to do, group number 3? We have the 9 of Pentacles. I love it. Yes, this is that sense of satisfaction that you were seeking earlier, I love the 9 of Pentacles because it shows you are successful. You have more than enough left over at the end of the day, more than enough time, resources, energy left over at the end of the day to just do hobbies and be creative. What a luxury. That's a luxury that not everyone has, guys. Not everybody has the extra finances if I'll give you a personal example, today I spent like $40 getting like scrapbooking materials, because I randomly came up with the idea, I'm going to start printing out my poems and just turning them into a cute little scrapbook full of poems. And it's like, not everybody has the resources to do that or the extra time to do that. 9 of Pentacles represents that, having more than enough left over at the end of the day to just invest in you. And it's in those hobbies, those self-investments, that you continue to push and propel your overall sense of peace, happiness, and prosperity, if you can afford it. Because recognizing when you can't, or when you don't have the time, money, or energy, is equally as important in recognizing when you do have it and you should be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I know plenty of people who are deeply in debt and cannot actually afford to dress the way that they dress and do the things that they're doing, but they put themselves further in debt to do it, and that's not happiness. That is not happiness. But I love the Nine of Pentacles coming out for you, because it does show you emerging into that space, which is beautiful, you know? And then we have the King of Swords coming out in reverse as your final card. This is cold. This is when life becomes all work and no play. And I see that's something that you're moving away from. And there is so much wisdom this month in allowing yourself to just delight in life itself and do the things that like retired people would do. You know, what would you do if you were retired and you had a fixed income? You didn't have to worry about working. You didn't have to worry about making money, you know? Would you garden? Maybe you'd learn how to make sourdough. Maybe you'd, I don't know, go to the disco. Maybe you'd fill in the blank, whatever it may be. Like, be more social. Swim in the ocean every day. What would you do? Try, if you can, if you have the extra money, time, and resources, to infuse that into your present day as you work, as you be productive. Okay, just even a little bit of that if you can. Because it'll really fill your soul up in a way that you may need right now. Very beautiful. And I just feel like you're being asked to create more personal life happiness. You know, you can rest, you can relax. You've already done the hard work. And I'm seeing like a mini retirement. So like, you know, even if you're deep into your working years already, or early into your working years already, what I mean by mini retirement is like, you may have for the past couple of months or years gone through some pretty stressful situations. Oh, here's Luna to agree with me. And it might be a time to just take a break from constantly trying to do these crazy, insane things, you know? Like, why try to run a marathon, write a book, and do this and that at the same time? For example, you know? It might be time to just watch more movies and hang out with your friends and play in the dirt and swim in the ocean or something. You know, that's what I'm feeling. That's the vibe for May. So I hope this reading resonated. Definitely like this video. Comment how it resonated down below, and subscribe if you've not already. If you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there, shamanic life coaching sessions there, as well as my online tarot reading course, so check it out. Bye-bye.